Wasabi Wallet. Unfairly private.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. Another Friday, back at home again. Very excited to have another Why Are We Bullish panel. We've got some awesome people today, and yeah, we're gonna get bullish. If you're here, of course, this is live as always. Well, I mean, it wasn't live when I was in Greece, but now, as always. So anything can happen. I defer to my good friend Bill here to clarify.
We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Thing sucks.
I already see a bunch of you guys piling in. Make sure you smash that like button. Subscribe if you're not. Give this a share to get more eyeballs in the room. Ooh, a bunch of people just jumped in. And we're going to get this show rolling. As always, I am Ben with the BTC Sessions. This is your daily session.
Hodl the Bitcoin.
Before we bring in our panelists, let's take a look at where we are in the market right now. I'm pulling up the bitbo.io dashboard. We're sitting at $47,363 per coin. A single US dollar will grab you 2,111 sats. Notable things, 89.61% of all Bitcoin have been mined. Mining in terms of mempool, damn, drop down 3 sats per byte will get you into the next block. If you're willing to wait anything beyond 30 minutes, 1 sat per byte will do you. Yeah. Oh, other notable thing that I forgot to mention on the news show the other day, we passed block 700,000. Notable moment in time. I can't wait for us to switch to a block-based time unit in the future. The most reliable unit of time, eventually, I'm sure. Also, shout out to sponsors of the show, LEDN.io. You can use your Bitcoin for a variety of different things there. I did just drop a full tutorial on them. But basically, if you're in a pinch, you need dollars and you don't want to sell your Bitcoin, well, you can use one of their Bitcoin-backed loans if you so choose, if you please, because maybe you're worried about having to buy back at a higher price point or the fact that it's a taxable event. Those things are good to avoid if you're coming down to it and you really need those dollars. Also, they have their savings accounts. They have their B2X offering. A lot of good stuff. Check them out in the show notes. Now, if you're stacking sats in Canada, Bitbuy, super easy. They've got a really slick web interface. They've got a dedicated phone app for both iOS and Android. And after your first $250, they'll pitch you $20 for free. Check them out. I do live on Bitcoin. Bitrefill helps me out. Any gift card you can please. Tons of different countries available. And you can pay via Bitcoin on main chain or as I do on Lightning Network. And you do earn sats back as you shop. So links are in the show notes. Of course, Keystone, air-gapped hardware wallet goodness. You never plug it into anything internet connected so that the keys to your money are safe and away and offline so that you're less susceptible to digital attacks. I love it. It's got dedicated Bitcoin firmware you can upgrade to, and it works with all the best wallets. Blue Wallet, Wasabi, Spectre, Sparrow, you name it, they got it. Really good in multi-sig too, so check them out. And finally, if you're backing up any important Bitcoin wallet, get in and steal. Sometimes paper doesn't quite cut it. Fire damage, water damage, accidentally discarding the thing. I've heard some horror stories. So BillFodl over at privacypros.io got you covered there. With that, I'm going to stop rambling and I'm going to bring in our guests. We've got Nico, we've got Kit, and we've got Phil, aka Coinicarus. Guys, welcome to the show. We're shy one right now because Colin from BillFodl and Privacy Pros, he's having internet issues in his part of the world at the moment, so he may join in a little bit, but I think we can carry it. I think we'll be good, and hopefully he joins in later on. But let's toss it down the line, get some intros going. Nico, how about you? Let people know who you are, what you do.
What's up, guys? My name is Nico. I'm just a simple pleb. I like to mine Bitcoin, and I like to make Bitcoin content with one of my best friends, Phil. He's down there, is Coinicarus, and we have a daily Bitcoin show on YouTube called Simply Bitcoin. I also host miners. If you want to host with me, check out bitvolt.com. And yeah, that's who Nico is.
Beautiful. Glad to have you again, man. I think you and Guy Swan and perhaps one other are in the ranking for most often returning guests. So we'll have to do a tally. I think Guy might have you by an episode or two, but you know. And Phil, you've been on a couple times too. Let's do a little intro here. Take it away.
All right, cool. Well, like Nico, just a Bitcoin pleb, maybe toxic Bitcoin pleb, depends. But yeah, co-host Simply Bitcoin with Nico, and also I do a Bitcoin podcast, the Fun with Bitcoin podcast, but that's taken a major back seat to our show. So yeah, just shit posting and enjoying making Bitcoin content and making people laugh and enjoying triggering people and getting triggered and all that fun stuff.
Awesome. And we're already getting some GMs in the comments. GM, Ozzy and Marty. I see a bunch of you guys in there. So let's toss it down the line. Kit, second appearance on the show. Welcome again. Let people know what you've been up to, who you are.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show again, and good morning, plebs. My name is Kit Stanwood, and I work for Bitcoin Magazine, and I do digital marketing on the conference side for Bitcoin 2021. So everyone, make sure you go get your tickets and come party with us in April. It's going to be really exciting. So I just help push out content and spread the good word of Bitcoin over there. I'm also a lifestyle blogger, and I do some traveling and stuff over there. So I write a lot of blog posts on my website. That's me.
That's awesome. Were you jelly with all my grease posts recently?
I really was. I saw that you threw out your cold card on the boat.
Oh yeah. I think Yellow superimposed Yellow superimposed himself onto the boat with me too. It was great. Awesome. Well, guys, we are here for Why Are We Bullish? Everybody in the chat, thank you for being here. Again, smash that like button, give this a share. If you're new to the show and you haven't seen it, very, very simple. We go by the 3 R's. Each panelist has a reason why they're feeling bullish. And when they drop it, we all then together riff on said reason, and then we rotate to the next. So really, really easy. I'm going to get us started off. And again, I tend to like to go with these reasons for being bullish that are like anti-reasons, I guess, in that it's Bitcoin fixes this kind of thing. And some news dropped today that Bitcoin definitely fixes. I'm just going to put it up on the screen really quick here. Fed Chief Powell and other officials own securities central bank bought during COVID pandemic. So the guys that are printing the money to pump up the prices of securities owned said securities as they were purchasing them. If that is not the height of corruption, I don't know what is. The very guys that are pumping up and giving false price signal to the very thing that they themselves own. Wild. But Bitcoin does indeed fix this, because in a world where the monetary base is not manipulated by the whims of a few in closed door meetings, there's no such thing as printing new money to pump your own bags. It's just everybody's kind of on that level playing field where it's like this is our unit of account. We have a fixed amount of it, and whatever society as a whole deems is a valuable place to put their assets, that will be what has more value placed on it. So yeah, Bitcoin does indeed fix this, but holy shit, you would think that this, and I will say it's getting play on CNBC. I'm sure it's hit some other news outlets, but you would think that there'd be a mob outside the Fed burning it down right now, but that's definitely not going to happen, because most people just don't pay attention enough or care enough, because the effects of these policies, they're slow to take effect, right? Like, we printed how many trillions, 30-40% of the monetary base in like a year and a half. And we're just now starting to see the articles that are like, inflation all of a sudden, but hey, it's probably good, guys. It's fine. It's transitory plus good. So it's fine. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but again, Bitcoin fixes this. So I don't know. What are you guys thinking about this? Did you see this article? Like, what are your feelings here?
Yeah, look, this makes me so upset. I can't even, look, we've been hearing for months, right? The rhetoric from central bankers, right? Essentially saying, that Bitcoin is shadowy. It's a privately issued currency. It's only used for illicit purposes. You have Christine Lagarde saying, funny business. It isn't a currency. You have them sneaking in this last minute provision into the infrastructure bill, that's going to be a heavy burden on the Bitcoin and shitcoin industry in the space, right? But all I see is projection. They're projecting what it is themselves, what it is that they're guilty of themselves, right? And this is exactly what we're seeing, right? And look, the reason this happens, right, is because absolute power corrupts absolutely. And one of the details on that article that's absolutely hilarious, right, was first of all, they were never going to reveal this if it wasn't for CNBC's reporting to expose what was going on. And, there's a very small detail in that article that said, listen, it was Jerome Powell that is actually going to do a review of themselves, right? So it's like they're themselves doing an ethical review on themselves, And if you actually break down what it is they did, right, is that they essentially have the ability to press that P button and print that money. And they specifically, allocated that fictitious money that came out of thin air into the assets that they own, essentially pumping their own bags. How is that different from any goddamn shitcoiner? Explain that to me. It isn't. And next time these people have the audacity to say anything about Bitcoin, I want you guys to remember this and have this in the top of your mind, because these people are hypocrites, they're liars, and they're goddamn thieves. And you know what? Bitcoin is going to destroy them all.
If I were to make a meme that was this article put side by side with the article about the NFT guy that was pumping his own bags by placing all the NFTs at like the top of the list, and underneath it was they're the same picture. Could I make it to meme review on Simply Bitcoin?
Absolutely, dude. Of course.
Beautiful. Nico or Phil, like I see you nodding along here. I expect you have something to say.
So I was calling it virtue theater, but I think it's more like concern theater. That's essentially what they're doing, right? Like they're making it seem like it's this whole thing that they care about, that they've exposed. We're looking out for you. We're doing this thing. This is all just a charade. This is none of this is real. Okay, like it's just garbage. All these people are going to have slaps on the wrist, the cost of doing business, and everybody goes back to their lives. And the average person's going to sit there and go, they really held them accountable. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, who's going to hold themselves accountable? Like, I oversee the printing of the money. I know where all the money goes. I'm going to buy the shares of the companies I know are going to go up, and I'm going to pretend that I didn't do this through random trusts and stuff like. I mean, are you kidding me?
Imagine that closed door meeting, all of them in a circle. So we're ethical, right? Ethical? Yeah, we're good. Okay.
As long as you say it enough times, it becomes true. Just say it enough.
Yeah. Kit, I don't know. What are you feeling here? Is this why you Bitcoin?
Yeah. I feel like it's really unfair that they can just keep printing money, and that my thoughts immediately went to how they can just get all this kind of insider information and trade all these companies, make more money. They have so many different ways to pump their own bags by printing it and then knowing all this other information and being able to like trade stocks and whatever else. But I don't think politicians in Congress should be able to do that, and that is in discussion. But it's just like crazy.
Well, and from what you said, good point, because how many people knew that certain things were going to be forthcoming? Like they named like 3 people in this article in particular, but how many other people were privy to what was going on like outside of the Fed, right? How many people were like, hey, so like we think that some money might need to be allocated to the following thing. Like, you have no idea what could be going on when, like, what's the quote where, like, the allure of printing more money or debasing one's own currency is just too great. And I mean, the allure of pumping your own bags in a situation like this, and how far down the line does that go? It's just, we need to remove that trust. It needs to be a system where you don't need to trust anybody, and anybody can verify, because if the incentives are there, they will be exploited. It's unfortunate but true.
Absolutely. Just like, back in 1792 in the French Revolution, it was the removal of, the separation of church and state. Right now, we need to separate money from state, right? Because it's just absolute power corrupts absolutely. And you have these goddamn politicians, right? They win a popularity contest, and all of a sudden they have a money printer to pay for anything and everything. And they insider trade like everything. You had Nancy Pelosi sneaking something into the infrastructure bill about making all the government cars Teslas, right? Guess what? She bought Tesla stock 2 weeks before that bill came to be voted on. So
you're kidding me? Seriously?
Of course, man. They all do it. They all do it. I'm surprised this article got even released. I bet you the person that released this article got fired, like 100%.
I'm telling you, it was released on purpose. It's theater on purpose. They want you to think that they care. Right? They want you to think that this is actually happening, like at the end of the day, it's like you see these two people debating, right? And they're arguing. And then they turn off the cameras, and then everybody shakes hands and goes out to lunch. This is really what's happening,
Yeah, I feel like they put it out in plain sight. I mean, we saw that with some of the gala stuff with the Eat the Rich like dress. That was like disgusting, like they just put it in plain sight for everyone to see.
The hypocrisy on display there was pretty wild. It's it's something else. Well, guys, let's wrap that topic. I think everybody in the chat seems to be echoing, like, everybody's too distracted by bread and circuses, and nobody's going to care. And I think they're right. They're not going to care until it starts hitting them in their pocketbook down the line. I've seen, and I think some of you guys are probably seeing in your lives today, friends and family that are starting to notice, like, I'm having trouble scraping by here. Things like the bills are stacking up, and it's not as sustainable as it used to be. But yeah, it's going to keep going this way until that feeling becomes overwhelming, and people thankfully now have a way to opt out. So it is what it is. But let's keep it rolling. If you guys are in the chat, smash that like button, give it a share, get even more people in here. And I see you, Yellow. Hello, I'm here to simp for Ben. I mean, Kit. Thanks, Yellow. Wonderful. Exciting.
We love Yellow.
Yeah.
So
Yellow's
we're going
the
to, he is awesome. I did get to hang out with him a little bit, and he's a legend. He's been on the show. I'm sure he's going to have to make a repeat return to the show. But let's toss it to Nico. Nico, dude, why are you bullish this week? Tell us.
I'm going to take a different approach. Okay. I'm bullish this week because, Phil and I are in this unique position where we have to, cover everything that happens with Bitcoin every day. And man, what I call the mainstream media fiat propaganda arm rhetoric on El Salvador is getting to such an intensity that tells you that we are right over the target, right? They have articles releasing Nayib Bukele is a threat to democracy, even though he has the highest approval rating out of any Latin American president, right? You have Steve Hankey's article that it's going to destroy the El Salvadorian economy, right? You have you have multiple articles from The Economist, multiple articles from the Financial Times, multiple articles from the New York Times, multiple articles from the Wall Street Journal,
right? Literally every single day. And the rhetoric is getting so intense and they're getting so aggressive. And there's a reason for that. And the reason for that, right, and a component that a lot of people miss, right, is that Bitcoin did not only just become legal tender in El Salvador, right? Bitcoin became legal tender alongside the US dollar. So what's going to happen within the next 4 years is it's going, and this is why they're getting so intense, right? Is that it's going to highlight the deficiencies and the failures of fiat dollar, of the fiat, specifically the US dollar. And the central bankers, the fiat economists, and the mainstream media, which are bought and paid for by them, are absolutely melting down, and there's absolutely nothing. There's nothing they could do about it. And it's glorious. Soak it in, because we're winning, guys. And this is amazing. Freedom is winning.
I love it. Yeah, it's funny to see the influx of articles about this. And you know, there have been people, even from Bitcoin Magazine, that have been there on the ground, and I know Alex Gladstein was down there, and a number of people have talked with some of the protesters, and some of the protesters have ranging concerns, right? So some of the protesters are talking about mostly just government itself, and they're like, oh, you know, they're worried about certain movements in terms of like actual governance, and it's not as much about Bitcoin. Some, it's like total misinformation about, like, they just don't understand, like, oh, only rich people can buy a whole Bitcoin, stuff like that, where they don't quite get what's going on. And then also similar things where, well, I don't want to be forced to use Bitcoin, whereas the actual law as it's put is you basically can opt out where you're just holding dollars if you choose to do so. But I like what you're saying in terms of it being alongside the dollar, because if people start to opt out in that country, and it's in stark contrast with how the dollar has performed, it's like this beacon to the world of what's to come, because there's a lot of countries that are starting to eye this and go, hey, maybe we should offer, you know, incentives for this kind of stuff here. And they haven't gone as far as to, you know, consider making it legal tender or make major moves there. But I think in time, this is going to become a pretty interesting case study in terms of how to bootstrap a movement globally. It's crazy that 12 years in, we've already seen these kind of moves. We got to watch the world's first country buy the dip. That's crazy. That's awesome.
And the guy said it on Twitter. And he had an eye drop to the IMF. You can't issue private. Oh, man, amazing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Ben, but
no,
I had to say that.
I'll open it up to Phil and Kit. I don't know if you want to chime in on anything that's being said here.
Kit, go ahead.
I mean, I love that it's all happening on Twitter. Like, it's just really wild. Like, him and like Michael Saylor going back and forth at it and just being like, hey, who's gonna buy more? Like, I love it. The energy's great on there.
Yeah, it's funny to watch these global, world-changing events happening in tweets. You know,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
There's no better example of a world reserve currency being memed into existence. It's so funny to me.
Yeah, I think another reason I had heard too that they were kind of skeptical was because that they've already had like a currency change before, and I don't know if it went too well in the past as well. So they're kind of skeptical on that change.
Yeah, they've had they've definitely. I mean, I give it to the people there. Like, they've got reason to be skeptical given the history of governments in El Salvador. They've had a rough go of it. There's been a lot of corruption there, and I think having that healthy skepticism of, you know, that's the ethos of Bitcoin. Don't trust, verify, right? And in this instance, it's tough for a lot of people to verify themselves because it's so new. So that will come with time. So I don't know. Phil, what about you? What are your feelings here?
I think to Nico's point, right, about the mainstream media and everything. I'm also going to mention the language that they're using, right? This language that they're using, they're essentially they're trying to create associations, right? They're trying to create negative associations with Bitcoin, positive associations with central banking and central bankers, which is completely insane and psychotic. I don't think they have a grasp on reality and understand how central banking is viewed by the average person who's having their value pissed away. I just don't think that they get that. So it's also, the language that they're using to create fear. Like there's a lot of like fear and uncertainty, and they use this kind of disingenuous language, and people don't actually really realize it, right? Like you're just reading an article, but the way that they place these words, it's to create these associations so that you think a certain way, and it's just completely psychotic and full of crap. So, you know what? To me, this is just, this is like the throes of an ending system, right? They don't know what's left. Like, and again, right, people sit there and talk about ending, and they try to give these like BS timelines. Like, look, the reality is that the average person doesn't really know that the money's bad. They can kick this can down the road as far as for real for a long time. Okay. But that doesn't take anything away from Bitcoin. That doesn't take away anything from the freedom properties, from the censorship resistant properties, from the fact that it makes central bankers look like fools every second of the day. And every 10 minutes, it's like a full confirmation. It's like, look at that. We did this all without you, and it works great without ruining everyone's value. So, screw them.
Yeah, it's and again, the one thing, you're right in that they're trying to frame and make comparisons and draw connections between Bitcoin and supposedly undesirable things. The thing that a lot of these articles miss is it doesn't matter if the government were corrupt if Bitcoin is the monetary standard, because Bitcoin supersedes anything that they say at that point. In fact, it would have been much easier to be corrupt and create a new fiat currency that they could debase at will. But instead, they've opted to go with this hard asset money that is an open network that anybody in the world can use. So even if they had ill intentions and they thought, okay, we're going to game the system with Bitcoin, they're going to find out over time that, well, no, you can't. I mean, they could do something with with custodial wallets or something like that, but in terms of the amount of power that has versus the amount of power just having full control of a currency and debasing it at will and using that money to, pump your own bags in the stock market, that's a lot more power than stealing a few hot wallets. So it is what it is. Nico, I love this topic. Anybody have any final thoughts on this before we jump to our next?
Ben, if I may,
please do.
Check it out. I printed an NFT.
Can I right click that?
That's exactly what I did. I right clicked it and I printed it.
You should put it on your wall. You would be the only one.
That's exactly what I did, and I retweeted it for it. Sue me, bro. Sue me.
What was the point he was making? Really? Like, I don't get. I don't get. I'm too stupid. I don't get his point. Like,
Phil, can you for people that are watching, that don't know what the deal is, maybe Phil, you could let people know what that is or what happened there.
Okay, so there was and I don't know what's that, a punk NFT. So I guess what's his name? David? Is it
Trustless?
Trustless. Yeah. Anyways, shitcoiner. He bought himself an NFT, punk NFT, and then obviously has it as his avatar, and then printed it, and then put out a tweet. I don't remember the exact wording of the tweet, but it had something to do with calling out all the right clickers. And about him putting it up on the, him having it up on his wall. And then he put out a second tweet showing him standing next to it. And I'm still completely baffled by the point of this, because you can now go sell that stupid looking punk on your wall, and the NFT is still, I guess, owned by you, or you could also sell the NFT, but you still have the punk on your wall. So does that mean you now have to ship that thing to the person who bought the NFT?
Yeah.
I know they're trying. I know they're reaching, right? Like, I know they want to make this real, but like, it's just not.
And the funniest part,
Sorry.
the funniest part about that, Phil, was that he literally said in the tweet, like, all you right clickers, you don't have it on your wall. Well,
You're about to get attacked, man.
Just don't get it.
bring it, baby. Bring it. Bring it. I'm all for it.
I'm
sorry, Ben. I had to say that. I'm sorry. I'm
No,
sorry to
that's-
ruin the thing. I just
No, it's
call
good.
out the shit coiners.
It's all good. I love that. I love the and since we're on the NFT thing, I alluded to it earlier, but some may not have been privy to what I was talking about. There was an uproar for a couple of different things NFT related. One of them was that there was a group that basically recreated an entire collection of supposedly rare NFTs and just made them on, like, they were on Ethereum and then made them on Solana as well, like referring to the exact same one, but they tried to get around the, like, quote unquote legal implications of doing so by having it be like a description of the image that would be on the internet. And so and then everybody, like, as a joke, was tweeting out like, I own this amazing white text description of this, but this other picture beside it, I don't know what that is. I definitely do not own that. And so it's just like the big back and forth, and all the, like, Ethereum people were like, this is the lawsuit. Wait for your class action. And then all of the people were rightfully pointing out, if you need legal action to clarify who owns what, then why do you need the fucking blockchain and an NFT in the first place?
Man.
Yeah.
They're lost. And there was some lady that was like, you don't need a physical diamond once you have the NFT. Like, it's like, what the F is
So
wrong?
bad.
What is wrong with these people? I don't understand it. I'm just gonna shut up.
I like Uvis in the chat. NFT is actually a TDR, a tradable donation receipt.
It's true.
That's great. I love that. I'm gonna start calling them TDRs from now on. Thanks, Uvis. Yeah, let's round that out and keep it rolling. Everybody in the chat, again, thanks for being here. Smash like, give it a share. Also, as we're like getting through, we've done a couple of reasons now. I want to let people know that are watching, I'm doing a new thing every week called your bullish bit. And what it is people in the comments of this video, not in the live chat, but in the comments afterwards on like the actual video on YouTube, comment with a timestamp of your favorite moment, your favorite bit, your favorite rant, whatever. And then I'm going to clip that up and make it like a short 2-minute or less clip that goes out to YouTube and Twitter and even Instagram and dare I say cringingly TikTok. But let's get some good Bitcoin maximalist content on TikTok that people can do. So it'll go out to all of those. But whatever the favorite moment of the most people is, that's what it becomes. So yeah, I will say pick your bullish bit by the end of the show. But we're gonna toss it down. Let's see. I'm gonna do a best of. I'm gonna get you guys to guess a number to see who goes next. Between 1 and 10. Kit, go.
8.
Okay, Phil.
3.
Oh, Kit got it. Kit got it. All right, Kit, you are up. It was 6, by the way. Kit, what are you feeling? What's got you bullish this week?
I'm bullish. A couple of things. Michael Saylor bought 5,050 more Bitcoin this week, and they've got around like 114,042 Bitcoin or whatever. I saw it on our Instagram over on Bitcoin Magazine, and that's just this is a lot. It just keeps
It's an
piling
insane
on.
amount of Bitcoin.
Yeah. So I'm pretty bullish on that. I'm also bullish on the statue that they put in Hungary. That's pretty cool, of Satoshi. So that's sick. We're gonna maybe try to do something with that for the conference. We'll see. I don't know, maybe a little foreshadowing. But yeah, I'm bullish on that. And then all of the app for El Salvador, all the downloads that they've done, it seems like it's rolling out pretty good. It's got some kinks, but I'm bullish on it, you know?
They've had, or do you know, does anybody know what kind of like numbers they're doing with downloads? Like, was it like up there in the app store? I don't really know.
Yeah, I think it was like 500,000 the last time I looked. So it's probably more now. That was
I mean, their population is like 6 million, right? So that's a good chunk.
It's 11% of the country.
Damn. 11% of a country has a Bitcoin wallet. That's interesting. Yeah, that's cool. That's and I mean, this is just the first couple of weeks here, and 11% of the country has a Bitcoin wallet. Now, I haven't really seen it. Actually, there's a Canadian guy that had reached out and said he had access to Chivo. So I'm going to try and peek at it and kind of, I've seen some stuff online, but I like to kind of see how it works. But regardless, they're seeing things and getting acquainted with Bitcoin. That much, like 1 in 10 people in the country has that wallet. That's not even saying the people that have perhaps other wallets. So that's really cool. I can't wait till 10% of my country has a Bitcoin wallet. And the stat, I wanted to touch on the statue thing. I think that's on my bucket list of just a place to go, because it's like, I don't think there's really been something like that yet. I know that like some people are like, it's cheesy, or, oh, we should like keep it as like I don't know. Bitcoin is intangible. So I like tangible Bitcoin shit that I can go see and feel. I guess that's just part of the part of being a Bitcoiner is since you can't hold your own money, you like getting some I don't know. I have so much Bitcoin shit on my shelves and everything. I collect so much crap because I'm like, well, I mean, it's part of history. So I'd like to go visit that. I like the look of it. I don't have I say I'm like indifferent to the look of it. I think it's cool. I think it'd be fun just to visit it. But I also really like I did like a side by side with like the Drake meme where it's like the no and then and I put the the Dorian Nakamoto clay sculpture as my that's my Satoshi. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but the guy they outed with Newsweek outed as Satoshi, somebody made like a clay statue of him doing the frowny face, and that would have been a good one to go up in Hungary, I think. But hey, anyways, I'll open it up. Anybody want to touch on Chivo wallet, statue, any of what was said?
Well, I'd just like to point out that statue represents everyone except for Craig Wright. I just want to make sure that everyone is clear on that. So.
They made it reflective so that it's kind of like you see yourself and we are all Satoshi. If he walks up to it, is it like a vampire that can't see his reflection? Is that what happens?
Yeah, it just turns into like the logo for poop. And the Bitcoin, and that's it. Like, it's the equivalent to breaking the mirror.
That's great. Nico, what about you? Are you gonna go visit that thing?
Man, absolutely. I think it's beautiful that the people of Hungary, what's astonishing too is that, America supposedly is, a home of freedom and home of this and that, but it's the countries that least benefit from the financial system that are first to, jump on the Bitcoin bandwagon. You have Hungary, right? You have El Salvador, and it's beautiful, man. The commercial for the Chivo wallet it was so well done, and it specifically said so many times like, hey, you know, this is optional. If you don't want to use this, you don't have to use it, you know. And then you have the president, you know, kind of doing tech support in live time on Twitter saying, hey, we had some technical issues. And then you have the mainstream media, you know, trying to incept people like, oh, there's all these riots and all that stuff. And then like you see the picture of the riots and there's like literally 7 people in the crowd, you know. But it's like, man, the shining light of Bitcoin is just shining right through in this world of darkness, dude. And it's unstoppable. It's the honey badger, you know. So it's beautiful. And kid, I think those are some amazing reasons to be bullish. Beautiful statue I hope to put on the bucket list. And the Chivo wallet, man, 11% of the country, the entire country of El Salvador just got $30 in sats, man. Incredible stuff.
I hope they stash a few away, and took some self custody too. I hope that happened. That would be excellent. That's the next step. At least the country is getting exposure to sats. And then next step is just educating them that they can hold it themselves. They don't need to leave it in there. So awesome. Well, let's round that out, and we're gonna toss it to Phil. Man, I'm interested to hear your reason for being bullish this week. Please enlighten us.
Why am I bullish this week? Well, in all honesty, I was going to say something very close to what Nico said. So because we end up, you know, reading all the same news. So, but I figured because he went first that, you know, he would say something along the same lines. So yeah, so I am bullish. Why am I bullish this week? To be honest, I'm bullish this week because of my Bitcoin node. Just the node, right? I mean, take a look at this, right? Look at what we have battling the central bankers. Mm-hmm. You know, it is truly the David and Goliath story. You know, like it's so fascinating, and you know, it really is. It's the straw that breaks the camel's back. Like literally, Bitcoin is the straw that breaks the camel's back, and it's like, how do you get to that point? Well, this is it, right? This machine has gotten so big, so flimsy, so bloated that, you know, all it takes is sovereignty to destroy it, right? Here you go. I want to be free of this system. I want to be able to, you know, I want to be able to hang on to my value. I want to be able to store my value. I also want to be able to transfer it to whoever the hell I want without the government really having any say in it. And they really shouldn't, because, you know, like it's interesting. Like are there strings on our time? Like when we give our time for this work that we do, they get all of it, right? They get all of this work. But yet there's strings on what we get in return for this work. There's strings and stipulations and walls and red tape, and like why would we agree to this? You know? So yeah, that's what makes me bullish this week is my Bitcoin node.
I like that.
Bitcoin full node, to be clear.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful thing. Now, do you run it on AWS, friend?
Yes, I do, because it's so much better hosted away from me, where I can't screw it up. No, absolutely not. No, we're not hosting Ethereum garbage. You know, it's hosted locally at home, and I'm proud. You know, the right thing to do. I have a few of them actually. So,
yeah, it's such a beautiful thing, and it's to tie it into like current events. You had Ray Dalio the other day on I can't remember what he was at, but it was on again CNBC or something, and he was being interviewed by Andrew Sorkin, and he basically said that he thinks that if Bitcoin gets successful enough, governments will kill it. And they have ways to kill it. But then two, he said he has money in Bitcoin. so I'm wondering what his thesis for owning Bitcoin is, in that if he thinks it's successful, somebody will then kill it. So wouldn't that then ruin the value proposition of him owning it? But secondly, I don't think he understands that it can't be killed. Like it would be so difficult to kill it at this point. And I don't think he truly understands even just the fact that anyone can run a node and effectively hold up middle fingers in the air to the entire world of anybody that tries to tell them a different way of doing things. And how do you kick in the, you know, in a world of 8 billion people, how do you kick in the doors of all of those geographically dispersed nodes? You don't. It becomes too expensive to be that tyrannical. It makes totalitarianism, it prices it out effectively. That's what it does. It's amazing. So anybody watching that doesn't have a node, get a fucking node. It's not that hard to do, and you can do it different ways, right? You can run Bitcoin Core on any computer, right? You can download that for free. You can run it, and then you can just use other software to link into that and connect your hardware wallets, and then everything is done with your own node. You run a copy of the Bitcoin blockchain and all of the rules that govern the network, and then nobody can tell you any different. If they try to change them, your node says, tough, I that's not valid for me. Or you can go a little bit further and you can do like Umbrel or MyNode, or get a Nodl, or run Ronin Dojo. And there's all these different variations where you're running Bitcoin Core, and then you're running all of this other great software on top of it. So you can do all of these different things. It's incredible. And it's a massive learning curve as you start to realize how Bitcoin actually works as you're doing it. But it's simple to get started is the beautiful thing. I don't know, like Kit, where are you at with if you're not running a node yet, what are the hurdles that you face, or are you running a node?
So I just ordered a node that came built together from the amateur investors, and I want to give them a shout out. They're in the chat right now. So I'm really bullish on that. I got it in the mail last week. And so I guess my hurdle is just doing it on the weekend and setting it up right now and learning so much about like what apps I can have on it. I'm pretty sure I'll probably do Umbrel.
Nice.
Yeah, just figuring out the different ways to implement it in my life, you know, BTC Pay Server and all this other cool stuff. And learning about just like requirements. You have to have some Bitcoin on a node to like process different things. So there's a lot to learn, and I'm excited for it.
That's awesome. I saw them in the chat here. I didn't know that they were on. I don't know. I probably should have known. Oh, awesome. That's
kind of recent. So yeah,
that's super cool. So is it like I imagine it's some rendition of like a Raspberry Pi kit or something like that?
Right. Yeah. It's a little Raspberry Pi. I actually can go
hard drive. Yeah, do it. Let's do it. What? May as well. We're talking nodes. Let's see it. In the mine is over here, humming on the shelf behind me. Am I pointing right? Yeah, right up here. And that's a Triton that I grabbed from Crypto Cloaks, but it's just got a little Raspberry Pi. There you go.
Here
that's
we go.
Perfect.
That's what it looks like. I've got a bunch of wires. I got a case and everything.
The hard drive.
And then
there you go.
The hard drive right there. Yeah.
You know what? So the first, I love seeing the first node video I ever did was from MyNode, and I showed kind of my setup and my list of like parts that I used, and it was like, again, it was basically like that. It was a clear case and a clear case for the hard drive and everything, and I did it all together. And then after making that node, I kept on seeing pictures of like the exact same case, exact same, and so like it made me feel good because that meant that somebody had watched that video and made a node from that, and I was like, yes, that's awesome. And so now whenever I see like that particular look to a node, that one's obviously different from the one that I did, but it's so cool to see so many people jumping into running a node, and it's become like this. People really like evangelize it and are now saying like, if you want to learn more, if you want to really kind of take control of your own self-sovereignty and your money, it's a good learning tool, and it's just a lot of fun. And it, again, for you as an individual, it makes you more resilient against attacks on the Bitcoin network. In a way, it does help the Bitcoin network I guess just given that you're a node in the network and you can stand up to individuals that or large numbers of people and companies trying to change it. But it's running a node is almost like it's a selfish action, right? Like you're protecting yourself and your value. So I do love it.
It does a bit of both, right? It's a selfish action, but that's part of the Bitcoin incentives, right? We provide it's a higher quality incentive, and as a result, in the Bitcoin network, through that selfish action, you're actually helping everyone else as well. You know, so it's part of the beauty of the incentives. Whereas with our our current fiat shitcoin monetary system, the incentives are such that our only incentive is to gather and accumulate as much of it as possible in any way we can, as long as we stay quote unquote within the law, or we know the right people or are part of the right circles.
Yeah, exactly.
A little bit different.
Yeah. And Nico, I obviously you're a node runner, I imagine. Do you have what do you run? What do you do?
Man, I run my node and I run Umbrel, and I have the Trident case with my logo by Crypto Cloaks. And but I wanted to say, man, what Phil said, what literally almost made me tear up, because he made something so simple, but he emphasized the power that comes with it. Because essentially, when you run your own node, you are the CEO of your own bank, right? You have the ability to transact, and especially if you're running it over the Tor network, no one knows, right, that you have the ability to send money to anybody, anywhere, across the world, whenever. Doesn't matter their race, doesn't matter their skin color, doesn't matter if they're considered unbankable, right? And I think what Phil said perfectly summarized the power that comes from that. And this idea is so powerful that, it's taking down this 400-year-old central banking system, and these little Raspberry Pis, are literally destroying them, and calling out, the recent word that Joe Biden says, the malarkey, they're doing. And it's just exposing them for what they are. And the way that I see the Bitcoin network and nodes themselves is it's just a giant Mexican standoff. Everyone's just holding a gun to each other's head, and just making sure that no one kind of breaks the rules. And mining is essentially kind of very similar. It's a race to guess the right number as quick as possible. It's very violent. It's an arms race trying to develop the fastest miner. Nodes kind of work in the same principle, right? I'll make sure you're not doing anything wrong, and you make sure I'm not doing anything wrong. And it's freaking beautiful, man. It's all open for everyone to see, but at the same time, if you're running it over Tor, you can't really see it either, so it's incredibly incredibly empowering. And Phil, that was a beautiful speech, and you should definitely use them more on Simply Bitcoin. You don't say those types of things on Simply Bitcoin, okay, bro? You saved it for Ben, okay? I get it. You saved it for his daily session, okay? I understand.
He brings that out in me.
Right. I like what you're saying about governance too. Has anybody seen the meme where it's from what is it? Boondock Saints? Not Boondock Saints. What am I talking about? Reservoir Dogs, where it just says Bitcoin governance, and it's the three guys standing in the room, all pointing guns at each other.
Yes,
that's exactly what Bitcoin governance is. And also, Nico, you're getting called out in the chat. And Nico, that looks like a pretty expensive chair for a Bitcoiner.
Listen. I work from home, okay, and I'm in this chair, literally making goddamn videos like the whole freaking day. So not only do I need a comfy chair, I also need a purple thing so that my butt doesn't fall asleep. Right, as you can tell, I'm not as tall anymore. But yeah, man. So you know what? I have no shame. I need comfort, or else my butt's literally gonna fall off or something. I don't know.
Although you've Yeah, you've probably sacrificed many a chair to have that one nice chair.
I don't have any more chairs around my house. It's just this one.
He's not even in a house. He's actually in a parking lot right now. All he owns is that chair, this mic, and a green screen.
Man,
There's a highway behind him.
I told you not to tell anyone, man. I told you at the Bitcoin conference, and you promised me you wouldn't say anything, and now you told everybody.
Yeah, in that parking lot where I met you. Yeah, you're still there, aren't you? You haven't left.
I tried to convince Phil to make me move in, but he said no. So unfortunately, yes, I'm at the parking lot.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
For now.
Yeah, no, I think this was a great topic, Phil, and again, everybody should run a node if you're able, and even just as a learning experience, it's so worth it, and it's a lot of fun. And then you get like when you go and you get to like jump on Bitcoin Twitter and tweet out a picture of your sweet new node, and everybody has a conversation about it. And there's so many fun ones to try. Like I really like Umbral just because of the interface that they've got going. Like it's so slick and so easy to use. And a lot of them now, like there's a one called Start9 Labs
Embassy.
Yeah, the embassy, and so Umbral is starting to do this too, but they're trying to become like a decentralization hub, right? It's not just Bitcoin. Oh yeah, how is it? How is it? Yeah.
So the user experience is actually fantastic. They have an app for the setup that you install, that you install on your phone. Getting that thing out of the box within, I kid you not, within maybe 5 minutes, you have it up and running. So it's pretty, that's pretty cool. So the only piece of it, which, and again, I may be mistaken right now because I haven't checked for an update in a little while, but maybe somebody in the chat could correct, but I don't think that they support yet the ability to add an SSD or a hard drive. So you have to run a prune node from their, from their marketplace, from their services. But it's really cool what they're doing. So I use it just as a an appliance node, right? It's got encrypted file server, it's got encrypted messenger, and Bitwarden, for password manager. Yeah, exactly. The Start9 Embassy, what somebody just put in the chat. And it's great for that, but I'm really looking forward to when they add the support so that you can actually have a proper full node. So I'm using my node right now for my full node, but I do also have an Umbrella. So I try them out. I like to see all the different user, the UXs. Like I like to see all the differences. I like to see the different user flows.
Yeah, man, cool. It's awesome, and I should say I do really like my node. Again, it's pretty slick. Like when you first, and it's actually been a while since I had my running. I was having issues having two running in tandem, just in terms of like my home network. I don't know why, but it would cut out my internet. I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe my internet provider just doesn't like me pumping so much traffic, upload and download
so
speed,
kilobytes.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, they tried to scam me like that too once. They're like, "Oh, you have that many nodes running. That's the problem." It's like, do you have any idea how much traffic this is really pushing?
Yeah, exactly. One of the cool things I'm gonna now that we're on the node topic, I just want to keep going with it because I like it. I love that I've now been able to. I've been diving into like the Lightning node thing. I did the whole Lightning node setup tutorial and everything. I'm now starting to learn about fine tuning that. But I love that I've now plugged in my pod to like the audio version of this. That now goes up to like Breeze Wallet and like a handful of other podcast apps that literally streams sats to my node. And I can it was crazy. I was on the other side of the globe. I was able to remotely create an episode and then upload it, and then people could listen to it on like the Breeze Wallet app, the podcast portion of it. They could stream sats per minute as they were listening. And then I'm using the Zeus app to look at the activity on my Lightning node at home and see minute by minute, like 10 sats coming in from somebody listening to the pod, and still access that money and liquidity and move it around as I saw fit. It was, and to do that remotely from the other side of the globe, it's unbelievable to me, like the implications of this kind of stuff. It's crazy.
Central bankers are so fucked.
Oh, so fucked.
When did you see that how-to video?
I did it. I already did one. I literally all the things I just said: how to set up a node, how to set up a Lightning node, how to use Zeus to interface with your Lightning node from anywhere on the globe, and then also how to set up your podcast so that it's linked to your node so you can stream sats, and then also how to use Breeze to listen to and stream sats to content creators.
Wow.
Amazing.
Awesome.
That's amazing. That's incredible.
Yeah. I should probably put that as like a playlist of like how to get your shit together as a Bitcoin content creator.
That would be an amazing. Seriously, that would be a great article.
Yeah. Shit, I'm literally gonna write that tomorrow and put like that's gonna be a blog post tomorrow. How to get your shit together as a Bitcoin content creator. There you go.
That was free.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, no, it's super crazy. And I saw a little tweet from Breeze, which also blew my fucking mind. But somebody tweeted at them and they were like, do you have support for video? And then they tweeted back, soon. Oh, stream sats for video content? Are you fucking that's gonna be my bread and butter.
That's insane, dude. That's ridiculous. Oh my god. The future is bright, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's something about Bitcoin, man. And it's you talk to people still stuck in the fiat matrix and it's all doom and gloom. You talk to Bitcoiners and they're some of the most optimistic people. You know, it's crazy what happens to your psychology when your unit of account, right, is in Bitcoin versus fiat, you know, that's slowly draining your soul and your wealth and time at the same time. Yeah, it's wild. I wonder what YouTube's going to do, because like it's early stages right now, but like you're going to be able to stream video content and get compensated directly from viewers on a per minute basis, which does two things. Actually, it forces people to create better content, because if it sucks, they're just going to tune out and you're going to lose. Like the stream of sats ends the moment you suck. So you'll see that like, oh, sats suck.
Dude, you gotta tweet that.
That's literally what it's going to be, though. So one, you're going to have better content, and so that's like the quality of content is going to be great. You're not going to get that clickbait shit, because as soon as you click it and it's crap, then you cut off the money. And then beyond that, what is like YouTube is not going to be able to take that cut, because content creators are going to be like, wait, somebody was paying me like a penny a minute for a video, which was 10 minutes long, but then I had 1 million views. And I've heard of what somebody who gets 1 million views, it can vary depending on the content creator. But if you get 1 million views on something, it's definitely not as much as a penny a minute, because YouTube scrapes that shit away from you, a lot of it. And so it's, I think they've got another thing coming. Greg Foss was on last week and he was talking about creative destruction in terms of Western Union and versus Strike and Lightning Network and all of that. I mean, this is creative destruction for any content platform that was raping their content creators before. Those days are coming to an end. I can feel it in my bones. It's great. It's beautiful. I'm gonna bring it around for final thoughts here before we round it out. So I'll offer my final thoughts is on Phil's topic. Run a node. Get started. Don't be shy. A lot of people get worried that it's going to be too difficult, but Honestly, it's really, really not. And it's a cool learning experience. And even if you hit a snag, just jump on Twitter, jump wherever, and Bitcoiners are going to be like, "Oh, cool, you're going to run a node. Here, let's troubleshoot and figure it out." Because everybody will just be excited that you're running a node. Yeah, so that's my final thought. But toss it down the line. Nico, once again, let people know where they can find you, but also any final thoughts.
Yeah, listen, guys. This decade is going to define a generation. A lot of things are going to happen very quickly. Things are going to get worse before they get better. It's important that you hold the line, right? You keep stacking. You take self-custody. You run a node, because the powers that be are not going to give the keys up friendly. You know, it's like a animal pressed into a corner. You know, that's when they get more ferocious, right? But we will overcome. And on the other side of that valley, man, it's freedom like humanity has never seen before. And, you know, it's incredibly humbling to be in the trenches with all you guys. So, yeah, man, awesome stuff. And Ben, like always, it's a complete pleasure and honor to be on your show. You know, we look up to you. You know, you're one of the Bitcoin YouTube OGs, only Bitcoin YouTube OGs. So every time you invite us on the show, we literally get so pumped. I get excited just to see you at the end say, you know, your daily session, amazing stuff, Ben. Absolutely love it. And guys, you know, you could find me on you know, on YouTube and on Twitter. YouTube, search for Simply Bitcoin. We do episodes Monday through Saturday. Sometimes we do an extra one. And you could follow me on Twitter at Bitvolt7 and check out bitvolt.com if you're interested in hosting some miners. Thanks, Ben.
Dude, glad to have you. Let's toss it over to Phil.
Well, everything Nico said in thanks, right? It really does humble us that you have us on the show. You could find me on Twitter at Coinicarus and co-hosting at Simply Bitcoin TV with Nico. And in terms of final thoughts, just, you know, zoom out. Try not to get trapped with the stupid shitcoin narratives. Okay, it really, it's not going to help you. You're just going to end up in pain. So just make sure that you're thinking critically. Make sure that you're asking stupid questions. Right? It doesn't matter. Okay, because chances are somebody else wants to ask that question and they're just afraid to. So just do it. Okay, everyone's going to learn. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so, and yeah, of course, stack sats.
Beautiful, awesome. And for our final Kit. Final thoughts. Let people know where you can find be found.
Yeah, final thoughts. Just opt out of the system. Get into Bitcoin. Get into a money that you can control yourself, that no one else can mess with. They can't print it. It is what it is. One Bitcoin is one Bitcoin, you know? So get in there, store your energy and your time in Bitcoin instead of fiat that's going nowhere. So that's my final thought. Thanks so much for having me on again. I'm always so bullish to come on here. Super excited every single time, so appreciate it. Also, you can find me on a bunch of different social media channels. I run the Bitcoin conference, so it's the Bitcoin Conf. And I'm at Kit_Sats, so you can follow me on Twitter there. Also, I like to retweet a lot of the memers over there.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, guys, thank you for being on. As everybody that's watching right now, of course, all of these guys, their Twitter handles are in the show description. And then from there, you can find everything that they're doing. Guys, it was an absolute pleasure. You guys are always welcome back on. Yeah, we'll definitely do this again. So thank you all for being here. Cheers, guys. Awesome. Cheers. So I will I'll drop these guys out and say another thank you to everybody that's watching here. Thank you, everybody, for coming around for the favorite part of my Friday. It's always the best, doing Why Are We Bullish with awesome Bitcoiners. So if you liked what you saw, of course, if you're here on YouTube, like, sub, share. Those things really, really do help. If you're listening on the pod afterwards, be sure to give that a share too. If you want to help with the show in another way, you can hit up the previously mentioned sponsors down below. Those were LEDN. They were Bitbuy, Bitrefill, Keystone, and BillFodl over at privacypros.io. And if you really liked what you saw, you can always drop me a Bitcoin tip at my strike.me page. That is strike.me/BTC sessions. Once you head there, you can type in any amount you like. You hit the tip button. You'll be greeted with a Lightning invoice, or if you tap to the right, a Bitcoin QR code. With that, I am out. Have yourselves a wonderful day or evening, wherever you may be. And I'll see you guys next time for your daily session.
Hodl the Bitcoin.